3. Terrifying true. Sneaking out horror stories. Story 1. When I was 17, my friends and I used to sneak out almost every weekend. One night in late October, my friend Jake texted our group chat saying he found an abandoned warehouse near the railroad tracks on the edge of town. He said it used to store construction materials years ago, but had been empty forever. At least that's what we thought. Around midnight, 4 of us met outside my house and walked down a trail behind some neighborhoods until we reached the warehouse. The place was huge. Rusted metal siding, broken windows, graffiti everywhere. One giant sliding door was partially open. Jake pulled out his phone flashlight and said, "Let's check it out." Inside it smelled horrible, like mold, chemicals, and old trash. As we walked deeper inside, we started noticing something weird. Boxes, dozens of them, stacked neatly along the walls. And they didn't look old, they looked new. One of my friends opened one of the boxes. Inside were smaller bags filled with white powder. We all just looked at each other. None of us had to say it out loud. Before anyone could even process it, we heard something echo through the warehouse, metal clanging, like someone kicking a pipe somewhere in the darkness. Then a voice yelled, "Hey!" We all froze. Another voice followed it. "Who's in here?" Jake whispered. "We need to go." But before we could move, a man stepped out from behind a stack of pallets about 30 feet away. He looked completely messed up. Dirty hoodie, sunken face, eyes wide like he hadn't slept in days. And in his hand, he was holding something. At first I thought it was a stick, then the flashlight hit it. It was a knife. The guy started laughing, not normal laughing either, like screaming, hysterical laughter. "You think you can take my stuff?" Then he started sprinting toward us. We bolted. The warehouse echoed with our footsteps as we ran for the sliding door. Behind us, we could hear him chasing us, yelling and laughing at the same time. We burst out the door and sprinted across the railroad tracks. When I looked back, and the guy had followed us outside, still holding the knife, still chasing us. We ran through the woods behind the tracks and didn't stop until we were back in the neighborhood. When we finally looked back, he was gone. About a week later, my friend sent us a news article. Police had raided a drug operation being run out of an abandoned warehouse near the railroad tracks. Several people had been living inside it, which means the guy chasing us that night probably wasn't the only one there. Story 2. When I was 18, I started talking to a girl online. We had been messaging for about a week, and she seemed completely normal. Same age as me. Lived about 15 minutes away, and she eventually asked if I wanted to sneak out and meet her late one night. I didn't think much about it. Looking back, that was my first mistake. Around 1:30 in the morning, I climbed out my window and drove to the neighborhood she told me to meet her in. She said to park near a small park because her parents were strict, and she didn't want them seeing a car outside. When I got there, the street was completely empty. No cars. No people. I texted her that I was there. She replied, "Walk to the park bench." So I got out of the car and walked into the park. The place was dark except for one street lamp near a bench, but the girl wasn't there. I texted her again. She replied almost instantly, "I'm behind the trees." That's when I heard footsteps behind me. Before I could even turn around, someone slammed into me from the side. I hit the ground hard and immediately felt someone grabbing my jacket. Then another person kicked me in the ribs. I heard one of them say, "Check his pockets." There were at least 3 of them. One guy grabbed my phone, another ripped my wallet out of my pocket. I tried to get up, but one of them shoved me back down and said, "Stay down if you don't want it worse." They ran off into the trees a few seconds later. The entire thing probably lasted less than a minute. When I finally got back to my car, I checked the messages again. The account I had been talking to was already deleted. Later, I realized the park they chose had no cameras and almost no houses around it, which means whoever set that up had probably done it before. Story 3. This happened in 2016 when those killer clown sightings were all over the news. My girlfriend and I were both 17 and decided to sneak out one night and drive to a small park near her neighborhood. It was around 2 in the morning. The park had a playground and a small parking lot surrounded by trees. We parked near the swings because it was the darkest part of the lot. After sitting there talking for a while, we started getting a little distracted. Right as things were about to go further, we both heard something. Creak. Creak. The sound of chains swinging. At first we thought it was just wind, but then we both realized something. There was no wind. The sound kept going. Slow, back and forth. We looked out toward the playground. One of the swings was moving, and sitting on it was someone dressed as a clown. White face, bright red hair, dark clothes. They were slowly swinging back and forth, staring directly at our car. Neither of us had seen anyone walk into the park. My girlfriend immediately said, "Start the car." I reached forward to turn the key. That's when the clown stood up and started walking toward us. They were holding something, a baseball bat. My girlfriend panicked and climbed into the front seat with me while I tried to start the car. The clown suddenly started running. I finally got the engine started right as the clown reached the car. Bam! The bat smashed against the passenger window. The glass cracked instantly. I slammed the car into reverse and hit the gas. The clown jumped onto the hood of the car. For a few seconds, they were clinging to the windshield while we sped backward through the parking lot. My girlfriend was screaming, and I couldn't even see past the clown's body. Then suddenly, the clown lost their grip. They slid across the hood and fell off the car onto the pavement. I threw the car into drive and sped out of the park. When we finally stopped a few blocks away, the passenger window was shattered and the hood was dented from where they landed. We never told our parents what actually happened that night. But the next morning, my girlfriend sent me something from the local news. Police were investigating reports of someone in a clown costume chasing people in parks late at night. And one witness said the person was carrying a baseball bat. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. And if you enjoy true horror stories like these, make sure you subscribe. I upload new scary stories every week. Also let me know in the comments which story creeped you out the most. And remember, sometimes the scariest moments happen when you think no one else is watching